That is peace into somewhere, that is peace into somewhere. Love you guys. Hit him all with that JMJK out of nowhere. Before I steal Dave for some havoc.
Spaz Phoenix with the early $10. This is peace. Spaz Phoenix. This is war out of nowhere. This is war out of nowhere. This is war out of nowhere. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the late episode of Out of Nowhere. Sorry to everybody who is waiting, who doesn't like politics, but we were involved in reviewing the presidential debate. And it was crazy. We had fights, we had people showing up, we had funny reactions, we had all kinds of crazy stuff going down over on Corrupted Nation. Tomorrow night's Monetize This. We even had JB call in. We had a lot of people going crazy. We had Bullfrog threaten the government. It was insane. With another guy who threatened things. It was crazy, man. If you missed it, I don't know what you're doing, man, but we are now into wrestling mode. Sorry we're so late. I'm sure the viewership will be a little bit down tonight because people just tapped out and went to bed. But maybe we can get up to 300, 400, 500, 600 people like we normally would have. And we had 400 people watching that over there at one point, so that was huge. Listen, Super Chats work on this channel, unlike my other channel. So if you guys want to support with Super Chats, drop them. Or down below, Streamlabs, Twitch alerts, all the donation amounts are listed. Definitely we could use the service of that tonight. And shout out to Spaz Phoenix for breaking the cherry early tonight. That is peace into somewhere. That is peace into somewhere. Love you guys. Hit them all with that J&J KO out of nowhere before I steal Jake for some havoc.
Yeah, baby.
Thanks to Spaz Phoenix for the donation and being badass. Shout out
Joe,
to you
right
guys.
off the bat, I want to get right into the ratings because
yes,
both shows are down. Last week, we saw AEW hit 826,000 viewers. This week, they hit 753,000. NXT brought in 644,000. They were down from 651. So both shows down a decent amount of viewers. Not great. Obviously, AEW won overall, but still not great for them. For what they were going for.
What was the AEW rating again?
They got 753,000 and a 0.3 in the 18 to 49.
Whoops. I mean, not the
NXT
worst.
got a
but
0.16, which is on par for them.
Man, I'm shocked too because the week before was so much worse, and then they had the whole dinner thing that we thought was going to be interesting, maybe. And so that was super cool. And so it's
dinner thing got 676,000 viewers.
Really?
So NXT had 607,000 viewers at that time.
Man.
For Dinner Debonair, Brian Alvarez reported, for the quarter from 9:15 to 9:30, they got 676,000 viewers. So it still wasn't great for what they thought.
It seemed to me out of 5 people, 3 people loved it and 2 people despised it.
I know Jim Cornette has completely sworn off MJF and said he will never compliment another wrestler again because they all go to the mud show.
Really? Oh, man. Cornette's turning on fucking MJF? Oh, my God.
Yeah, he viewed him as the last saving grace for AEW, and after last night's performance, he is not a happy camper.
Holy crap, man. That is wild. Come on, man.
It just surprised me, but one of the biggest news stories coming out of last night, I thought was, we had a great match between Phoenix and Penta, the Lucha Bros. Yeah. Well, Phoenix might be injured, and he may not be able to compete in the tournament going forward.
Wow.
So
what the hell? So he really did get injured on his head and neck when he fell.
They're not sure if he suffered a neck injury or a concussion. And they're going forward to further diagnose his condition at this time. But Brian Alvarez said that he might not be able to wrestle on Dynamite next week. It's unknown if they plan to record his match against Kenny today or tomorrow, but either day might be way too soon with him not feeling great. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, that would be unfortunate, but originally I had predicted that they were going to have a bye for that round and Kenny would just get by. So I guess it would work out, but not the way I would want to. I am looking forward to this match, so hopefully he's okay. It's nothing major and he can heal up for another week.
Yeah, I hope he's all right. I was hoping maybe it was kind of like a work thing or something like that, but
I was hoping as well, but
I don't know. I mean, but it was just what a great match though. Whether worked or not or whatever, it's real. The fact of the matter is it added to the match and it made it more dynamic, and the end of the match ended up being cooler because of that. I really believe that Rey Fenix match with Penta, I really think that match is top 10 of the year for anybody. Like, so I don't know, maybe top 5, top 10. I'm not really sure yet, but it's a match that I will watch that again, and I enjoyed it. Maybe top 10. I don't know if it breaks top 5. It will break top 5 at the end of the year, but top 10 probably.
It's certainly top 10 for me as well. That was a great match.
Good shit, bro. Nothing says.
Also, I missed this during the main event last night. I saw Alex Reynolds take the double team from Private Party, and it was the leg drop, the big splash combo that they hit.
Right.
Leg drop splash combo. And as soon as they landed on Alex Reynolds, he was out. I didn't know that he was unconscious last night when I was watching it.
Me neither. I had no idea.
I thought he was just like overselling and just kind of lying there. And because he got up afterwards and but he looked out of it. But I didn't know if he was just like selling still, or it didn't seem like it. But going back and like I said, in hindsight, knowing that he was knocked out and seeing Butcher pull him over towards the corner more, and then them try and focus the camera on the Young Bucks, they didn't have to stop the match, but they definitely could have pulled him out of there. Him sitting in that ring for as long as he did, for over 2 minutes unconscious, is not a good look for AEW at all.
No, it didn't look good. I tried reaching out to him and AEW and anybody today, and he no-sold the whole thing. He didn't tweet about, hey, guys, I'm okay, or, it wasn't really a big a deal.
They let us know. And like I said, Nick Jackson afterwards, he does a kick to the midsection, then gives him the Bulldog. And he's going for this knowing that the guy was out. Why are you still going through the motions? Just get him out of there.
I don't think anybody knew he was hurt.
It looks more like they did, and they just kind of tried to wrestle around him.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I thought that too at one point. Like, okay, they moved him over.
Butcher drags him over to the corner, and they just kind of keep going. And Doc Samson is kind of to the side, but you can't see much.
Now,
and remember we originally said last night that Cody came out afterwards, and we thought it was to check on the Young Bucks. No, he came out to check on Reynolds, and then he went and interacted with the Young Bucks.
Yeah, there's a video of that.
Check on Alex.
I wanted to show that in my video earlier today that like nobody saw, by the way, but I couldn't get it. I was afraid of copyright or whatever, but I did see it. He goes right to him. So, yeah, because we were on to that. Like, Cody comes out and dresses the crowd. But, yeah, he also checked on this guy.
Because when he took the double team move, I said to myself while watching, I was like, oh, it's a good thing that pin was broken up or else that was a 3 count, not knowing that they knocked him out and it literally would have been a 3 count. He would have been unable to kick out. So
yeah, they looked a little bit worried. Guys, hit that like button and stick the thumb directly up my sphincter, brothers and sisters out there, and I'll salute you to the day I die. And we got some donations coming in. Let's play 1 or 2 of those. And we got a Hell in a Cell to talk about in a few minutes. Party. There's DanH&Cora.
Thanks for the respect, Joe. Looking forward to this wrestling show instead of more political talk.
Right? Maybe, I mean, I wouldn't listen if it makes you that mad. You know what I mean? I tell other people that, like, if you get upset, like, don't even listen. Because I get that way, too, where I get disappointed in people when I hear them.
I get emotional as well, yeah.
Or, yeah, like when I hear someone I like to talk about politics. But the good thing is that I'm not telling you which way to vote, and I'm not even voting. So who cares about what I say? But I really appreciate that. I'm sorry that, like I said, you're going to get beat up a little bit by the chat and stuff like that. But, stand the ground, and people are going to respect you more for that. So there's going to be people that went, fuck her, and then they're going to be like, oh, you know what, it's all right, whatever. So, whatever. It was fun earlier, though. I had a lot of fun on that stream. I'm glad
she called in.
Yeah, that made it really fun when she called in, and then Dave Rose was on, and then JB called, and everybody called, and it was what a crazy fun show that was earlier. So definitely, if you didn't hear it and you want to laugh at politics stuff, I thought we had a great show earlier. It was really fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, Cora.
Oh, it's pretty. That's what I'm going for.
Get ready, Philly. Get ready, Philly. Get ready, Philly, you motherfucker. Survive off a motherfucking own feces. In Philly, we're gritty. In Philly, we're gritty. In Soul City, we'll eat our own shitty. In Philly, that's why our mascot looks like a
You guys watching the BSAKA debate missed a game between Eagles Giants.
Woo!
Turf Monster caught Daniel Jones on a run that saved a TD.
Damn.
Eagles scored in final seconds. Did I hear Froggy threatened government?
Yes.
Is the CIA and Secret Service?
Yeah, it was unbelievable. Fade to Black. Thank you, Fade to Black, for the Ocho. Appreciate it. Yeah, Bullfrog threatened the government and the Democrats specifically.
The frog laughs, going, "Ha ha! I made it on the call." I'm like, "You don't get it though, do you?"
Yeah,
that's the glorious part about it.
It was.
And
I was like trying to tell him, like, don't say this.
government.
I'm like, don't say this. Stop saying this. And then his co-host said that he wanted to assassinate the. It was crazy. What are they saying, bro? I was like, what are you guys doing? Stop talking. You're gonna be on an FBI list. But Fade to Black, man, thank you for taking $8 out of your pocket and giving it to me here in the show, and really, really appreciate that, bro. And thank you guys for the donations. Drop them now, because this ain't going to be too long, because we spent so much time talking about Trump and Biden earlier that it was nuts. So we're going to talk about wrestling now. We got a little bit more AEW, then some more other stuff, and then we're going into AEW. And by the way, Jake,
little news stories for
Jake,
you. So
good on calling Dave Rose on that shit about fucking calling me whatever.
he just wrote it in the chat. You know,
He wrote it. We're going to go back and read the chat and prove you right later. Go ahead, Jake, with the next thing.
So it's like I said before, though. It's a bad look with the Matt Hardy injury and the Elite Deletion match coming up. People are still worried about that with Sammy Guevara. AEW hasn't had just a great, track record with injuries, concussions, and mishaps in the ring so far. So people are really being critical of them, and I think it's rightfully so.
Yeah,
I hate this term, like, do better. I'm with you there. I hate that term. I don't mean it in an SJW sense, but they need to improve some protocols here. The referee needs to have a bit more control on keeping the wrestlers safe in the ring.
Yeah. Do better makes me go fuck yourself. But no, you're right. but no, seriously, but it's like, it's not up to you. They're figuring it out. You don't fucking know, and I don't know. And that's why it's like, I said that in my video earlier that I made about this and the injury or whatever happened. And I said, I'm not trying to be like all these people, like we're breaking down every time somebody gets hurt or there's an injury, or we're criticizing how people handle it. Like, it's like, that's a new thing that's never been the last that's 2 or 3 years. Like, I mean, super criticizing how stuff is handled is I
just want to see people be safe and taken care of. That's my main goal in all of this. They're there providing an entertainment for us. I don't want them to get hurt if it could be avoided. I know accidents happen. Obviously, he's knocked out. It was a complete accident. It wasn't intentional. But why couldn't they have just pulled him out of the ring entirely there?
Well, honestly, nobody should have touched him, and the ring shouldn't be moving, and there should be doctors coming out. I mean, if you want to get really, seriously.
Want to get really in depth, absolutely. That should be the case, because you don't know what kind of impact he took to his head, to his neck. Is the C-spine okay? So if you have to drag him to the corner and let the doc check him as fast as he can, for as much time as he needs. But if you can avoid stopping the match, do that. Keep it in the corner. But it just didn't look that way. He got up and then took another move, and then another move, and then was out on the outside, completely ruined for the rest of the match. So I think the big issue is him taking more moves after being knocked unconscious.
Yeah, I
just
mean,
like Matt,
it's like when that
stumbling around and then finishing the match shouldn't have happened.
It was like when that wrestler died at AAA or whatever it was, or in Mexico, and Conan was like, "Man, get back up with the fucking match, man, get back up. Hey, wake up!" He's slapping him in the face. He's dead. He's like, "Man, get back the fuck up. What are you doing, man? Wake the fuck up and get back in there." And it's like, Conan, he's dead. Just awful that had to happen, though. That was a terrible thing. But yeah,
absolutely awful.
I mean, in real science and medical, like, listen, the ring shouldn't be bouncing. The guy shouldn't be laying there. Nobody should be touching him until the ENTs get out. So are you going to stop the show, have the medics come out, and have everybody else out of the ring and call the whole thing off while they perform this and just kill everything and do that? Listen, humanitarian-wise, yeah, that's what you really should do. But nobody does that. Nobody's going to do that. So instead, you're going to be left with this gray area, wishy-washy. And for all we know, he said something. For all we know, that he said to the referee, like, "I got my bell rung, man."
He very well could have. Like I said, we don't have enough details.
Like, "Oh, bro, just get me. I'm gonna have to get. I can't. I got fucked up. It's
just odd still not hearing anything from Reynolds' camp at all. So
yeah, he says nothing because he probably doesn't want people to attack the company because he's like, "I'm fine," or even acknowledge it. He'd probably rather just let people play and basically just treat it like, nah, dude, it's fucking, I got hurt. I'm in the wrestling ring. He doesn't want to break kayfabe, probably. Is what he's in the Dark Order, that type of thing. You know,
Yeah.
I appreciate that it sounds like he doesn't want to break kayfabe or make the company look bad. I DM'd him. I messaged him all over the place. He said nothing. Nothing.
Maybe we'll get an answer as time, the weekend
Not a
goes
goddamn word. Not a I'm okay. I mean, this was 13 hours ago. He was tweeting like nothing ever happened. Like, I mean, you wouldn't think anything happened to the guy. He tweeted at Brandy Rhodes, I hope you're, but this breaks kayfabe. I hope you're on your best behavior, John, who's over at Brandy's place, probably on her show, but he's in the Dark Order. That's breaking kayfabe, and he's tweeting it out. So he'd rather break kayfabe this way and tweet this out.
Well, because John's been trying to get on a shot of Brandy for a while now.
Oh,
that's part of the storyline.
So yeah, he doesn't want to fuck that up.
Yeah, so he's not breaking kayfabe there. He's sticking with the BTE thing.
Oh, right. Okay. I haven't watched the last 3 episodes.
Last AEW thing, too. They did mention on BTE the other day, and I thought it was a crazy stat. There has not been one match to end in countout or disqualification on Dynamite yet.
What?
And it's true.
Serious?
Yeah, there has been no disqualification endings or no countouts to end a match in AEW Dynamite history. On Dark, there has been, and that's one of their storylines right now between Brandon Cutler, who's winless, and Peter Avalon, who is also going after a win. They've been going after each other, and they got their first DQ, and then the countout was first. Then they had a double disqualification the other day on Dark. So now they're having a no countout, no disqualification. Someone has to win match. Like, that's the big story they're building up, and it's been fun with what they're doing. But they threw out that stat of no DQs, no countouts in Dynamite's history, and I was like, wow, that is WWE can't avoid 3 hours without 3 screwy dusty finishes. So that was an incredible stat to consider.
That is crazy. I mean,
ready for that. That's
I don't think that's
impressive.
I don't think that's a good thing. There should be really? Because you're coming up with what you do, and there's been a year has gone by, and you've had one
clean finishes every time essentially. Like there's been some interference in the sense of like Tully holding the leg or things like that.
Somebody should have been counted out within a year. Like, so I'm not looking at it. I'm not looking at it like you are. I think there should be, there should be a few DQ. And there's no DQs. I can't even believe that's real.
I know. I was shocked.
I thought they've gotten out of things before with the DQ, but maybe it was a pay-per-view. I mean,
for all the match histories that I had searched up and looked through for, I forget the name of the website now. They go ahead and they list all, match results. And
a couple of time limit draws, someone said. So there's been a couple.
Yeah, there's been time limit draws, where the match, they run out of time, but no countouts or disqualifications.
Yeah, I would think that you would have 1 or 2 or 3 at least.
I think they're just trying to make it impactful. So when that does happen, it's like, oh shit, this means something.
Yeah, I mean, it happens.
I don't think that's lazy. I think that's more.
I don't know. It's not. I didn't say lazy.
No. That's my word.
Okay. I think that WWE does it way too much. WWE does it way too much, and clearly AEW
I call WWE lazy creative, so that was my point with that. I think it's not the opposite.
AEW probably should have more to make it more believable that it can happen. They probably should have had a couple of those happen, and WWE just kills it. So I'm somewhere in the middle. But either way, whatever. It doesn't matter. It hasn't hurt the product to me. It hasn't done anything. It's been fine. But yeah, 2 time limit draws. I would have thought there would have been at least a couple countouts and at least a couple DQs. But
yeah, I was very surprised by that.
That's crazy stuff, man. Hit that like button, guys. Let's get to 100 likes.
So WWE has been kind of sweeping their COVID results under the rug. We've known that for a while, but they admitted themselves the other day that out of all the total tests they performed, it was well over 10,000 tests, and they've had 1.5% come back as positive. So that means we've had over 150 positive corona cases in the WWE so far.
Wow.
And we've only known about 30 to 40 of them per se.
The fuck?
And even then we don't know all the names, but they just admitted that there was a cluster to begin with. So we've had it, and they don't count either if someone gets sick because of a WWE star is positive. So if I worked for WWE, I was a wrestler, and I spread it to my wife and child, it wouldn't count as me getting them sick. It doesn't count towards WWE's numbers.
Okay. Well, that makes sense to me. That's okay.
That doesn't make sense to me because they got me sick, so they're the ones, you know what I mean? It's because of their...
Oh, well, but I mean, WWE only wants to count their people. They're not going to start counting how many people do we get sick.
But, I mean, you could argue either way, but to me, I would say that they'd be responsible for that infection.
Man, I mean, that would be really... I mean, they are responsible, but they're not going to say they are. That's fucking stupid.
They're not going to admit to it. But just the fact that they've had this so far is you know, quite a surprise to have that many positive cases that they admit to. People say, 10,000 tests, but you figure they're testing everybody, not just the people on TV, all the staff, all the, you know, anybody and everybody. And then that's every day, multiple times a day, people, you know, so that's why it's so many.
Yeah, WWE is so shady anyway, so they would never
Super Chat
get into that.
Party.
Spaz Phoenix. Kingston got a title match for attacking Moxley. Now they have a tournament, so the drag is... Omega and Page story can bury 6 other guys. Then we get a 4-way tag. Number 1 contender match. What ranking system? Yeah, it seems like they're going full Kenny Omega push here. F the rankings, F everything else. It's time to push Kenny. Similar to the way they push Cody. And it really does smell of a Kenny push to take on Moxley eventually.
Yeah.
So,
and as much as they've touted about their ratings and they push them every week, it doesn't mean anything, the ranking system at all. So,
yeah. Yo, shout out to the King.
There's no need for the ranking system.
Get rid of the rankings or only make them minor because they don't matter almost at all, so it doesn't even matter. Why make Excalibur have to do all that math in the back? I mean, I guess without it, he'd probably just go crazy in the back, so they have to pretend and, like, Excalibur, go divide the number by 10,000 million moonsaults and whatever. Bry Guy, thank you, man. He is the king of monetize this. Bry Guy is here, and tomorrow night Bry Guy puts his crown up for grabs on Monetize This live on my other channel, Corrupted Nation. And if you missed us listening to the debate and reacting to the debate and fighting about the debate, it is a glorious fun time over on Corrupted Nation, my other channel. Also been uploading on Shame on News, and me and Jake have our 1-hour podcast up on the Patreon. Download it on your phone to save your data plan. Listen to me and my wife's podcast, Note to Self, Cronin Speaks, Morning Madness, Corrupted Podcast, Jake and Joe Podcast, After Dark, and Final Frontier News. Devious Dave Rose and myself, and so much more. 30 hours of bonus content you can't hear on fucking YouTube. Please feed my fucking family and become a patron. Please become a patron. 330 of you have. 30 of you have become $25 patrons or above, like Sith Neegan and so many more. Thank you guys for that. Let's go, motherfuckers. We got so many things in store for you in the next couple weeks. Plus, we're leading up to Monetize This episode 300. Episode 299. Everybody returns to Monetize This. Anybody and everybody who wants to return returns. And everybody who's banned gets immunity for that one night on episode 299 of Monetize This. Coming up in a few months, episode 299 of Monetize This, then the big one, episode 300 of Monetize This. So much coming. And Drew, the gatekeeper dildo, has something in store for me. Well, I got something in store for him. It's a better cock than he has for his wife. So Drew, bring it on Friday night, you little bum. You're going to be on the show with your little cone head, and we're going to talk about things. Let's play one more donation, then we'll move on again.
Super Chat Party.
Go ahead.
Road to 1,100 Mubba Woohoo.
Woo, he says. Spaz Phoenix, thank you, man. Coming out of Canada, bringing it hard, funding the show. Without you, I'd have no privates. So thank you to Spaz Phoenix, man. Thank you guys for the donations. Seriously, man, you keep pumping them so we can keep doing this show. And Jake, what else you got? I'm sorry.
The one nice thing WWE is doing is covering the COVID-19 testing costs for all fans that attend NXT live tapings. So when you go to live tapings, the fans have to go ahead and go to a COVID test beforehand. And then once they go to Aventus Labs and they get that, then they'll get a text message that says whether or not they're approved and cleared to go to the show. And then when they get to the show, they have to check their temperature at the door. They have to wear a mask. And they also have to be in their own certain pod, so they can't mix with other people. So that they are trying to take further precautions, it seems now, since they've had all these positive cases. And the only thing they have live fans for is very small attendance at the CWC for NXT. But I thought it was nice that they are paying for the COVID testing for fans, so good on them for that.
Yeah, it's good that they're getting the fans taken care of. I mean,
well, especially since they're requiring the testing, which is important.
Make the fans feel safe. They're going to come out, probably.
Yeah, exactly. So Joey Ryan, never ceases to amaze me with him filing yet another multi-million-dollar lawsuit.
Jesus.
It just keeps going with him. So the new lawsuit, he says that he's losing wages as a result of the speaking out movement. He's losing $500 per month from Cameo, $1,000 per month in merchandising, $1,000 plus in tips and subscription shares from Twitch, lost from his bar wrestling promotion, no longer receiving streaming. It just keeps going. Lost in revenue from his Patreon account is $3,000, $8,000 to $10,000 a month in wrestling bookings. So this is a lawsuit against the man in Pennsylvania. And it's a defamation lawsuit that he's filed here. And he's claiming that it caused emotional distress. It includes libel, false light, and intentional interference with prospective economic advance. So basically, they're saying that this person was targeting Ryan, and the speaking out movement led to him losing out on all of these, money-making abilities.
Wow. I mean, he's throwing everything at the wall right now. Maybe he's trying to plead insanity or something, because it doesn't look good for him, but he's going after everybody left and right.
This is a $15 million lawsuit this time.
Jesus. He's got like 90 of them?
$10 million.
He's going to be like, my lawyer's a psycho, and try to get out of it. Hey, shout out to Adam McGuire, man. Adam McGuire just became a, it says $4.50 patron, but I think he's a $5 patron. I think the Euros translation doesn't work out right. But he basically became a $5 patron, man. Adam, thank you for jumping on the Patreon bandwagon. Thank you to everybody else. We had people calling up like, I'm going to be playing the praise that I got tonight on Corrupted. I don't know if you know, Jake. I'm going to be playing all the praise that I got tonight on the show earlier from the woman, the wonderful lady who called up, said her boyfriend was away and she couldn't believe, she was gonna. Oh my God, she was playing with herself to me.
She was extremely excited.
Guardian of Chaos cut a promo for me. I mean, just like people were just loving it, calling us. I mean, listen, I'm going to be playing that all week.
I'm coming for you.
All right, Leah,
she
relax.
was really gushing about you on the phone.
Yeah, I'm going to cut all that. I'm going to play. It's going to be like this crazy intro ego boost song. Unbelievable.
We are the reason the ratings are down. World Series baby. Hashtag congrats Lightning on Stanley Cup.
Did I really miss that? Did Tampa Bay... I mean, listen, there's a potential for the Lakers and the Dodgers, or the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Tampa Rays. So someone's team is getting 2 championships in a year. Or not the team, but the city. Someone's city is getting 2 championships in a year. That's pretty fucking awesome. Tampa Bay Rays. So wait a minute, the baseball game was on during AEW and NXT? I didn't realize that.
I thought so, but...
I mean, that could have been a little bit of
World
it.
Series, yeah, that would definitely affect some of the ratings, but
yeah,
they were still expecting to be
bit.
higher than even with the competition.
I feel like more NBA fans watch wrestling, and so that didn't hurt it that much. So
no,
I'm surprised.
Really
if baseball were to hurt it more, that would actually surprise me.
We'll find out Friday too what's going on for SmackDown because they're going to be on Fox Sports 1.
Yeah,
because of the World Series.
LA and California area is a big market for wrestling right now, though, too. So, I mean, that would could take a lot of PWG guys.
Super Chat Party.
Thank you to the Tampa Bay Rays.
Gritty for president.
I agree, Bride Guy. I agree. Your Lordship, King Bride Guy. I bow down to you and I stuff this in my ass. Yeah, man. Gritty for president. Make the guy president. You can do it. I would love it. I like Gritty. And listen, he's the fucking Philadelphia mascot. I'm a Boston Bruins fan. I love our bear. I love the Boston Bear, but
Gritty's great. I love Gritty. His Twitter account is hilarious.
You can't hate on Gritty, even if he fucking.
I still remember his debut and just how weird he looked, but he captured my heart, Joe.
The googly eyes coming out. Adam McGuire, thanks for becoming a $5 patron.
So as we mentioned on the show back, I believe in August, I know we said it a few months back. That WWE was planning to build Survivor Series around The Undertaker. Well, now that seems to be all but confirmed. So he will not be wrestling at Survivor Series, but they're planning on building it all around The Undertaker. He will make a live appearance.
Ugh.
He'll be there, and it'll be a huge event, like going through the history of The Undertaker since Survivor Series is when he's debuted.
Rest. And by the way, well, okay. I don't have a problem. Do I have a problem with this? He's just appearing.
I don't have a problem with it. It celebrates, the anniversary of his debut, and he'll, get to appear. I don't want to see him in a match at this point, so that works out.
What if he has an impromptu match though?
I can't say that I wouldn't care for it. I mean, if it's something like what he and Cena did at WrestleMania, like they do something quick, that could be entertaining. But I still don't want to see Taker wrestle, really. As much as I love him, it's just he's physically not where he needs to be. And it kills me to say that because I do love the character. But
what if he was in there to commemorate all this stuff, and then Sting showed up in the ring, and then Sting said something like "right now," and then the Undertaker signaled yeah, let's go, and then a ref came down, and then they locked up and they went back and forth and locked up back and forth, and they started throwing punches, and then someone went off the rope and there was a slam, and then Sting put the Undertaker in the fucking Scorpion Deathlock, and then the Undertaker eventually fought out of that and got to the ropes, and then something got turned around, and then he tombstoned Sting and won. Would that be something that you'd be like, that was kind of cool? Or would you be like, oh, fuck, I wish I didn't see that? Which way would you
I would rather just never have that match.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather not get a subpar version of a dream match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'd rather,
like Cena and Undertaker?
Yeah, that was not what anybody. That wasn't what Undertaker wanted.
It was better than the Roman match. It was better.
He was really upset. He thought he was going to be able to go for at least 20 minutes minimum, not 5. He wasn't expecting that at all. He said, I had trained to go 40 minutes.
Yeah. And then against Roman, he had trained to go no minutes. So it's like...
Yeah, exactly. So he was so upset over the Roman Reigns match that he really wanted to prove, not just to the fans, but himself as well, that I can still do this. And he had himself in such great shape and ready. And they were like, oh, because of last year, basically, and the time, we're going to give you a couple of minutes. And that was such a... it was a cool moment, but it wasn't a match,
Yeah. Oh...
It was still a spectacle for WrestleMania, but it could have been so much better.
It was better than Roman's thing, to me.
Yeah.
Although
because that Roman Reigns match was such a disaster. And the ending obviously was heartbreaking, seeing him essentially retire, but then he didn't stick to it. So
Zach McNulty wants him in Elimination Chamber as a surprise guy, I guess. So I don't know. That'd be interesting in a way. I mean, I just think either way, I'd be so happy if he had one more little match and it was good, and that was it. Or I'd be super okay with him just saying goodbye at Survivor Series too.
Yeah, I prefer that because I'm afraid he's going to end up killing himself in the ring. I mean, he came close with Goldberg.
Or just having a worse match.
A bunch of circumstances with that, but
you don't want him to have another bad match or a worse match.
Yeah, because every time, look at what happened again in Saudi when we got DX to come back against him and Kane. That match was so just sloppy and a disaster. Triple H got badly injured. It was a disaster. I
love the word sloppy, man. Moist and sloppy.
Moist and sloppy.
Give me both.
Yeah.
So you mean Mr. Hopped Up on Mountain Dew and Monster aka Alex Reynolds got knocked out? I think he got too sugared up and got himself knocked out. Can't wait for Full Gear Mox/Kingston, but Elite Deletion should be interesting.
Yeah.
Any rumors on that?
No, we kind of speculated a little bit, Fade to Black, but I think me and Jake may get into that more the weekend or next week. I think we'll try to do some little things where we talk about that, the speculation of what that could be and mean and whatever else.
Super chat.
Do you like Matt Tremont?
Yo, Donnie Murdoch.
I remember him from Tremont from CZW, right? Wasn't he the hardcore guy that was always bleeding profusely?
Matt Tremont?
Super chat. Party.
Yeah, he was like a bully type.
Thanks, Joe.
Big guy,
Hit me up on Twitter and YouTube. Mahalo, bro.
Mahalo, baby.
Yeah, Guardian of Chaos. Thank you.
The Guardian of Chaos.
That was a great call before, too. Dude, really put you over.
What a promo, dude. He put me over. I was uncomfortable. And listen, by the way, I really appreciate that. I appreciate the woman that called. She sounded like she was hot. She was very nice, and she said she loved the show. Like, I'm super happy about that. Guardian of Chaos is a legend, also hot, nice guy. So all the praise earlier and stuff like that you guys are giving the show and me and stuff and everybody. So I really appreciate it, man. And when I get off the air, I'm going to be like, wow, man, that was so nice of people to say those nice things they did earlier today. I'm uncomfortable with praise. It's just a weird thing, like where I feel like I'm not good enough, and so when people start praising me, I get really weird.
Here we go.
But I really appreciate it. Like I do.
About
I
to
just
get
was
it,
like,
man.
I don't know what to do with this.
Here we go. Here we go.
But I was very. It made me feel good though. So good. Thank you.
Hey Joe, I heard episode of Off the Rails 25 is coming out tomorrow, but you uploaded episode 69 instead. Please keep doing that.
I don't know what's going on, Arush and Chu. I have no idea what's going on, but for some reason, whenever I schedule an Off the Rails or schedule something on Patreon, it hasn't been going up. The only way things are going up is if I just put them up. But then if I
do it,
if I go, come out tomorrow at 11 a.m., guess what? Never comes out. Not only does it not come out at 11 a.m. or a different time, it just doesn't come out at all. And I have it set right. I go and double check and I go, what the fuck? That's why Off the Rails 9 is missing and Off the Rails 10 is up. So I'm going to be uploading Off the Rails 9 in a little while. So sorry about that. But that's a fucking hilarious joke. Arush and Choo Choo. Thank you, Arush and Chu, for the $5 and Guardian of Chaos, the man. Check him out on Twitter. You're going to love this guy. He's a promo and a half, this motherfucker. He's great. So give him love.
Super Chat Party.
Our man, Spaz Phoenix.
Have a good night, guys, in the chat. Your presidential debate ate my soul. Gonna go recharge. Cheers.
Yeah, we did. How do you like us up in Canada, man? We could use your health care, though. But you can keep your fucking prime minister fruitcake. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. He's the son of a Cuban. The son of a son.
So I'm going to bang through some news stories quickly here because I know we still got to get to Hell in a Cell. But
yeah, let's get to it real quickly. Rapid fire. Let's go. My bad.
Aliyah is not currently signed with a contract to WWE, Mysterio. She's not signing full-time either. She's still in college, so that's it for now. They're just going to use her as a per-appearance type thing.
Mysterio.
No plans for that. Chris Statlander says she's doing pretty good, but her injury is likely going to keep her out of action until mid-2021. So that's unfortunate to hear. She said, "I'm doing good, but I'm behind where I want to be." The way she said it, she's like, "I'm ahead of where I'm supposed to be, but I'm behind where I want to be."
Wow. Okay.
And she says it'll be a while before I can basically re-debut and get back in the ring, and I'm going to want to be training a little bit before. So she said it could be another 8 months or so.
Wow, I mean, that is really sad for her. I mean,
yeah, I liked her in the women's division too. And she also said that where her gimmick got started is from her love of the paranormal and UFOs. She said, "I'm such a big fan of space, and it's a mind-blowing concept to me. So we got to get her to listen to Final Frontier News." But
yeah, we got to get her on the show.
I've got space tattoos. I'm really committed to it.
I made fun of her. Listen, I did make fun of her, and I'll tell her that. But I would definitely love to talk to her about that stuff. I would love to. I think she's very nice, and I like her. But I did make fun of her in a video. But I do like that she took something she loved and put it into her gimmick and stuff like that. And she seems like she's great. So
I can do without the nose boop. But besides that, yeah, I don't mind the alien
probably
stuff.
get rid of that. I mean, unless you're gonna stick your finger in someone's ass, that'd be kind of fun. But I wouldn't do that.
The ending of Raw seemed really bizarre because it just ended. It just cut off. And a lot of people seem to think that, hey, they must have ran out of time. That wasn't the case. That was always the intended ending to Raw. They wanted McIntyre to get in the cage and then cut to the end of the show. That was their goal. And the thing that bothers me, though, is because Raw Talk starts right after that, or at least a few minutes after, and they're all talking ringside, but there's no one in the ring. There's no one fighting. There's no one there. Like, it just picks up. So it makes it feel even more just fake the whole time.
Discombobulated. Yeah, you're standing in the ring right away, and we just saw people in that ring. So what?
Yeah, even with them being ringside, you see no one in the ring behind them, and you're like, weren't they just breaking into the cell? What happened there? So that was unfortunate, but that was their desired plan for Monday's ending, and I thought that was foolish. It didn't make people, I feel, more anticipating the match. I think it just frustrated viewers.
It was just garbage. Yeah, they should have done a better job of, remember what was my idea? My idea was, the Randy got him to come into the cage, almost like, oh no, you're in the cage, but then he had a bunch of guys on with masks jump Drew, and then they beat the shit out of him, and then Randy drags him under the cell, and then and then he calls for the cell to be lowered, and then it crushes. It pins Drew down or crushes his leg. Then Drew goes into the match with a bad wheel, And on top of it, you know, Adam Pearce and everybody come running out and yelling at Randy and telling someone to stop, and like, you know, Randy's smiling evilly as they go off the air, and Drew's in trouble and you don't know what's wrong, and it's my leg, my fucking, you know, that type of thing. That would have been a way better to make him evil, to make him a bad guy, to make it interesting. Like, wow, I thought they were just going to brawl and it was going to go off the air. I thought someone was going to get the better of someone, but I didn't see people coming from under the ring that Randy paid and then beating up Drew and then him beating up and then dragging him under and then pulling the cage down onto his leg. Like, that would have been way better than what they did.
Had a callback to the arena lights going out and him having the night vision goggles again, for Christ's sakes. If you don't want to hire people, do something.
Yeah.
You know? But
yeah, that'd be kind of,
please, as stupid as that is, you know, that's a 3-second idea just tossed out. Anything would have been better. So
yeah.
I know you didn't care for the Elias concert as much as I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a bit more. It wasn't mind blowing, I'm saying, but I do like Elias.
I like the idea of it. I like the idea that they were going to do it, but I just didn't.
Yeah, just the way they presented it with him lip syncing wasn't great, but they're going all out with his new album, Universal Truth. They've got tons of new merchandise, hats, hoodies, t-shirts, beanies, masks, you name it. Excuse me. And then they're also slating him for a quote unquote mega push.
Holy
He's
shit.
supposedly, supposed to start at, going off on this match on Sunday with Hardy. And from there, we're supposed to see, they have management has immense confidence in Elias as a performer and to be able to fill any time allocation and deliver an entertaining performance. They're very high on him in the back because they feel like no matter what they give him for a segment, he will knock it out of the park. If they want him to wrestle, if they want him to cut a promo, if they want him to sing, if they need 3 minutes filled, if they need 15 minutes filled, they feel like they have someone that's reliable. So hopefully they go with him and give him a bit of more of a chance.
Yeah, I mean, I hope he does well because he was doing pretty good before. We liked a lot of the stuff Elias did.
And they knocked him off the top of the landing there at the Performance Center before Mania, and that was it. We didn't get much from him. Then he got hit on SmackDown. So
I think he's a really good mid-card act, and I like him in that role. So give me good Elias.
He's great at that.
Yeah, and then, I wish they could work him in a little bit more with wrestling. That was always your complaint, and unfortunately, I just think they value him so much more as an entertainer versus a wrestler. But I feel like he's a better wrestler than Corbin in the ring. So why can't the guy have Corbin-like matches when Corbin has those matches?
He's really good in the ring. I really like that match him and Seth had. I believe it was for the IC title. Was excellent.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you can have Corbin in the ring, what the fuck? Why not have Elias in there, who's got a better character than Mr. King?
Moving on, John Moxley says, basically, F video games. He says, I can't even understand video games. He said, my biggest problem is I like to do physical things that put wear and tear on your body. He's like, I should be sitting around and binging TV shows. I do that with my wife, but I never do that alone. He's like, when I'm by myself, I like to go hiking, take my bike up mountains. Training is my hobby. He's like, I never understood video games. They're too difficult. They make no sense to me, and they totally passed me by. I don't know what button to push, and I completely lose my interest.
Yeah, he's an old soul because Moxley talks the way, like, my uncle or something talks, or like your dad would talk if your dad. Because right now we're at the state of the world where our parents, not mine, but your parents, maybe if you're listening, if you're under the age of 28, like if you're listening to this right now, and you're below the age of 28, chances are your parents play video games or played video games, maybe. There's like a 60% chance your parents probably played or play them or something or whatever. But like our parents didn't really play them at all. And John Moxley, though, is younger than me. And I play video games like a motherfucker. So like for him to be so he doesn't barely know how to use a phone. And that's real. But that's just who he is. So, it's interesting that he's that way. But maybe that's why he's a little bit better than fucking half the people that all they talk about is fucking their Twitch channels and shit, man. Shut the fuck up and be a better wrestler because you fucking suck on the mic or you're not doing something right and all you care about is your goddamn Twitch channel. So it's kind of a breath of fresh air. I think Eddie Kingston's kind of similar. I think the both of them. I mean, I think Eddie Kingston has a phone and, I jump on and play some fucking Madden here or there. But I don't think he really fucking obsesses over video games like any of those other guys.
So either.
And if he does and if he did, guess what? The motherfucker's smart and he won't say a goddamn word about it. Eddie Kingston.
That's a quiet hobby.
Yeah, he keeps that shit quiet. Like, fuck that, dude. I fuck women. That's what he says. Hey, dude, you getting the games like all the other guys? We're going to be in the back having a game tournament. Nah, bro, I fuck women. That's his answer. Dude, that's the fucking answer. That's why that guy's sick, and he's facing Moxley. That's why this rivalry is so good. It feels like two men are actually fighting. You know, someone else would be like, oh, yeah, man, I got the new Double Dragon. I keep saying Double Dragon just because it's funny to me. I know that's like a game nobody fucking plays anymore. But, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I got the new World of Warcraft, and I'll be playing the Call of Duty, and, oh, dude, fucking
I'll be
Cyberpunk.
happy to hear that.
Cyberpunk's coming out this week, and we were playing Mario, and, like, it's like, nah, bro. It's like, hey, so, Eddie, what are you going to be playing? Nah, bro, I fuck women. Like, it's fucking hilarious.
I don't like balls in my face. You know, that's something he would say. And
yeah, exactly. And he may play video games, but the fact of the matter is, he's not telling you he is. Smart idea.
Speaking of interesting, Bayley is now the top women's champion in the modern era, as far as, you know, title reigns and combined days. So out of 6 title reigns, she has 948 days as champion. In third place is Charlotte Flair. In 12 title reigns, has 947 days. So Bayley just beat her by 1 day in this current title reign.
Wow.
Asuka, in 5 title reigns, has 938 days.
I mean,
so she's not far behind Bayley at all, but still,
Sasha's got to be salty.
Has 10,000 plus days, so no one's catching up to that.
Who has that?
Fabulous Moolah.
Oh yeah. Obviously, like 10 years or something.
10,000 to 948. So I mean, no one's coming close to getting that.
She brought in the women, beat them, stayed champion, and then had her male friends run a train on them after the match.
Exactly. Just like Bruno, though, holding that title as well. That's something that'll never be broken.
Yeah.
On the men's side. But congratulations to Bayley. That's a hell of a stat. Last few little things here is James Storm was talking about training with Ronda Rousey in an undisclosed location.
Sexually.
He said that he was out in California and he got a message saying she wanted to train and he thought it'd be a great opportunity. She whipped his ass with some judo throws. They had a really good time and traded stories about Mr. Perfect and wrestling and all that kind of stuff. And apparently he says that, you know, she seems ready to go. So this just adds more credence to Paul Heyman saying that she might have extended her contract.
Yeah,
so
it feels
will we
like
see Ronda sooner than later? It's beginning to seem more likely.
At the Royal Rumble.
I know WWE asked her to return, but we haven't heard much about that. They're asking a lot of people to come back. They're already trying to figure out when they can book Becky back. They want Charlotte to return sooner than later. They wanted Charlotte back for Survivor Series.
Sasha's pissed about Bayley's record run. She thought she was going to be the record holder.
Yeah. You know, no doubt about that. The news from Sasha this week was she shares the first time she was called the N-word. So, I mean, there's that. That's her big news story of the week.
Wow.
Talking about, you know, how she grew up and she was in Iowa. You know, she said, I was living in Iowa at the time. I was the only black girl in the whole country. I was like, man, where am I? And, you know, what's happening in my life?
But certainly she's not going to like when she moved to Boston because it's so racist in Boston, right, Mookie Betts, you fag?
She said, I'm on a farm and I'm black. Before that, I lived in California and was around a lot of cultures. You know, I heard people say the N-word there, but it was like a friend. The first time I heard it in a negative way, I was I was walking home from softball practice, and this guy on his porch was screaming at me, hey, N-word, get the F out of here.
Wow, that's fucking crazy.
She said that's what she turned to wrestling because, you know, she found strength in wrestling and was able to use that as a way to break fear. She said, I started watching wrestling, and I thought, this is who I'm going to be. I'm going to be larger than life and be someone I can't be right now. I have to break this fear. Ever since I laid eyes on wrestling, I have always had my mind set on this, and that was going to save me. She said, that will break me away from being this scared little child. So I thought that was a really nice, touching interview with her.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. I can't believe somebody would somebody would scream that at a little girl, like an N-word or whatever. It's fucking crazy.
It's hard to believe either, but it's still
so fucked up.
Often.
No, it does, but it's fucked up. It's just crazy. I thought her story was going to be about how Boston, so everybody's always shitting on Boston, but even though, like, we had the first black hockey player, god damn it. But no, the people here were fucked, but not anymore. Not as bad. So, yeah, you know, that's nice, and I like Sasha, and I love Sasha. I want to see her in a video that's on a naughty website. Let's put it that way. Okay. But you know what? I saw that Thunder Rosa picture earlier, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I did pick wrong. Somebody was saying between Thunder Rosa.
Maybe we did not decide. We thought too swiftly.
Well, not only are Thunder Rosa and Sasha Banks probably some of the most beautiful women in wrestling, but they're like some of the best competitors to me too. I mean, Sasha recently has had a bad stroke of not the best stuff, but she was in NXT a fucking great wrestler. So hopefully she can get back to that with Bayley and they can have a match. And finally this match will be so good that we'll be like, they're back, motherfucker. Here we go. The women are back. Let's go. I hope that happens. Lars Sullivan probably was the guy that called her the N-word on the porch, right? Yeah, someone in the chat said that.
And then he wrote it in his journal. John Cena was on the Eric Andre show, and he concussed him. He knocked him out.
Really? Like real?
Cena did, yeah, for real. John Cena did the stunt right. They prepared for a stunt, and he was supposed to throw him into some like metal shelving, and apparently they prepped for the stunt wrong. And the metal shelf came down and clocked Eric over the head, knocked him out, and concussed him, and he had to go to the hospital. So
wow, imagine if he died and John Cena killed somebody.
Oh my God! You know, all in an accident. You do the stunt right, but they set it up wrong too.
Yeah. He's like, I thought wrestling was fake.
And then last thing I wanted to share was Michelle McCool reveals she just used a condom for the first time. I saw this headline and I'm like, this is total clickbait. I gotta click on this. What the hell is this about? So she used a condom for the first time ever voting in the election. She used a condom on her finger, and she said the first time she put it on, it flew off and almost hit this little old lady next to her. So she was kind of embarrassed. But
what is she talking about?
She never used a condom because she waited until marriage to have sex.
Wait a minute. Michelle McCool is the one that's married to The Undertaker.
Yeah, she said, yes, I waited to have sex until I was married. So that's why she never used a condom.
She was in WWE all hot and all this stuff, and she didn't do it. I know.
How shocking is that?
The Undertaker fucked a virgin?
Trying to see if that was her first husband or not. No, she was married in 2001 to Jeremy Louis Alexander.
Oh, my God. Okay. Jesus Christ.
But still, it was just funny the fact that she said she just used a condom for the first time. I was like, how is that even possible?
Good, my God, man! I almost fucking had a conniption.
Yeah,
that chick ran through half
the WWE is a virgin the whole time. Hey, it'd be a better story. Her and the Undertaker getting the virgin McCool.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude! That makes way more sense. Okay.
That's why the Undertaker married her. I do.
I will, dude. If you told me he banged a virgin, I'd start wondering about him. Like at that age to bang a virgin, like what's going on here? You know, I'd be a little concerned about things. But wow, okay,
just a little bit.
Yeah, a lot.
When I saw the headline, it just made me laugh to high hell. So we only have 4, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4 matches for Hell in a Cell announced. I don't know how,
all right,
but for all the special ones out there, I had to count it out.
This is all we can go on. This is all we can go on, Jake.
That's what we have. We have some idea that maybe The Miz and Otis will have a match because we still haven't seen the conclusion to that yet. Even though The Miz is on Raw, we saw El Gran Gordo, a.k.a. Otis, on Raw, so does that happen? We don't know. Neither tag team champions, on SmackDown or Raw are defending their titles at the pay-per-view, so maybe we'll see something happen to that. Lars might have a match. That could happen. And going from there, we might end up seeing Asuka also have a match added. But since we already had Raw and that didn't happen yet, people are thinking that likely isn't going to come to fruition.
Yeah, and I would think Otis would probably win his match, or maybe I would hope he would
lose the match and lose the briefcase to Miz. I mean, that's a possibility too.
Oh my God, no!
We've heard originally they wanted to use that briefcase for the tag team titles, and him and Tucky were supposed to go ahead and be Heavy Machinery's, have the tag team title reign. Then they decided against that. Now they broke them up. They moved Mandy to Raw as well. So anybody that supports Otis is on the other brand. And the only one that apparently, supposedly has faith in him in the back is Vince at this time. That's the only reason he's still holding onto the briefcase.
Well, that's the best one to have in your...
coming up with ways to get rid of it, supposedly. So
that's the best one to have on your side, I guess.
For now, we'll see how long that lasts. Just like Mustafa Ali had 3 weeks until Retribution was done for.
Right.
I'm their leader. We're officially buried.
Well,
so at the pay-per-view, first match we have is Jeff Hardy taking on Elias.
Jeff Hardy taking on Elias.
Yeah, this is the revival of the Who Hit Elias with a Car storyline that happened on SmackDown that was already resolved. We knew it was Sheamus. Sheamus framed Jeff Hardy, so I don't know why this is the story, but so be it. I think Elias wins here because they're pushing him with his album coming out.
Yeah, they're starting to have Jeff take losses to people to push, so this will be his 3rd time, I believe. If he loses, this will be his 3rd time losing to put somebody over. So I think that is going to happen again, yeah.
And I like what GHP Network said in the chat. He said maybe Miz loses the trial that they have, and he ends up challenging Otis for the briefcase, and that's how he wins it there. That's not a bad idea either, because they are going to have that trial at some point. They were supposed to have it this week on SmackDown, and then I haven't heard anything about it. So,
yeah, that sounds likely. That sounds pretty likely. I don't care about the Miz and Otis, though. That's my problem. I'm worried. I mean, maybe they'll steal something. Maybe they'll do well, and I'll be wrong, but I just don't find that appealing at all.
I'm more into it than you are. I can see why, though, you're not, expecting much.
Maybe them in a ladder match would be fun for something.
If it was for the briefcase, then yeah, that would be the ideal way to have that match done. Do another Money in the Bank ladder match if it's for the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Then we have the SmackDown Women's Championship, Bayley and Sasha Banks in a Hell in a Cell. Now, I am so split here because Bayley is on this, year-plus long reign. She's one of the best heels right now. She's got a great storyline on SmackDown. Although her and Sasha had one match, it didn't really count as a match to me anyways when they fought, what was it, a week ago or 2 weeks ago on SmackDown? Mm-hmm. I think it was 2 weeks ago. Yeah, the October 9th edition. And that was the one where she used the chair to get disqualified. So
let's call it now. Sasha Banks is going off the Hell in a Cell, everybody.
You think so? Because there's 3 Hell in a Cell matches.
No, I'm just kidding. But imagine, though, if we saw a woman go flying off the top of the cell. That'd be crazy.
That would be nuts. You figure this is Sasha's 3rd Hell in a Cell. She's been involved in every female Hell in a Cell match. She took on Charlotte the first year. She took on Becky last year. She's winless at Hell in a Cell. She also hasn't held the SmackDown Women's title. Everything here screams Sasha wins, but I'm going to pick Bayley. I don't think this feud is anywhere near over, and I think for some reason, way, shape, or form, they're going to have Bayley retain here. Yeah. I don't even have a full justification why. It's a feeling. It's probably a bad feeling, but it seems like so obvious. There's got to be one title change out of 3 Hell in a Cell matches. You think there would have to be one. So this one seems to be the most logical for there to be a title change. I just can't see them doing it yet. I don't have faith in WWE. So I'm going to pick Bayley.
Yeah, I really feel like this is a Sasha win, or finally after all this time and whatever else. But I think Bayley's going to win, man. I think she's going to retain it somehow.
It really should be Sasha's time, but...
Yeah, I mean, normally, by the way, that's the problem with Hell in a Cell in this time. Normally, this is like the last match you have. This is their first match in a while where they're really competing. This is their
first real match. The other one ended briefly in DQ. That didn't count. This is their first legit match, and they're starting in Hell in a Cell. At least Uso is facing off Reigns in an I Quit match in the Hell in a Cell, but they've already fought, and there's a good amount of buildup. And they still, I think it's a little bit too soon for that, but...
Yeah, so it's like,
it used to be the end of feuds. It used to be a way to blow off. It was the final in your feud.
You're starting with the Hell in a Cell. Yeah, to keep people out of the cell, and all that's just lost. Like, what the hell are they doing? So, like you said, it's weird. But I'm going Bayley too, man. I thought that, and I got to go Bayley.
No, at least I'm not as crazy as I.
No, I don't think you're crazy. And you're right. This would be your 3rd loss too, and. Hey, I was there for one of them. It was great.
I want her to win. I do.
I don't care. I just want I want a good rivalry and good matches. I don't even care who wins right now.
That's the thing. I'm not going to be disappointed if it's either which way they give it to us. I just want a really good Hell in a Cell women's match. Then we have Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton. Now, it's been rumored that WWE is going to try and have each one of these matches be different. The Reigns match is going to be more story-driven. The championship match with Drew and Orton is supposed to be more like car crash style, like heavy fight. Mm-hmm. And the women's, they wanted to make more stunt technical side. So each one has their own kind of unique feel to it. I'm fine with that. Hopefully they pull it off. But with Drew and Randy, I'm going to go with Drew McIntyre retaining here.
Drew McIntyre.
Out on Drew yet.
Wow. Okay. I mean, I would think this is where you would. We thought they would pull the trigger on Randy before. I would have thought you already would have given it to Randy if you were going to give it to Randy. I'm surprised that he didn't win it earlier.
That's what makes me think he's not going to get it at all.
I really think something crazy is going to happen in that match, and I do think Randy's going to become the champion. So I'm going Randy Orton in this one. He's tried too many times to lose again after all this stuff. And, Drew's been champion a while now.
Yeah, since Mania.
Yeah.
I can see Drew retaining here, getting to Survivor Series to face Roman when they usually do that champion versus champion.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe Balor if they do all 3 champions, depending on. Although last year they didn't do that because the WWE title was defended, so we'll see. But it would be really awesome to see heel Roman versus Drew McIntyre as a face now.
Yeah, I think the only belt that changes
Exchange
hands.
roles with those two, since we saw Roman face and Drew heel at Mania. I think, and I like their match at Mania, so I think that would be cool to see those two face off as different roles.
Yeah, I think the only belt that's changing hands is that one. So crazy. Going out on a limb, brother.
Of course, we got the main event, the Universal Championship, Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso. This is one of the ones I'm, again, second time now, looking forward to the most. Surprised me that Roman is so just on the money with this heel run, but it's been super entertaining, no doubt, and I am looking forward to this one. He said there would be serious consequences for the loser. We still don't know exactly what those will be, so there's even more intrigue into the match, and we pretty much know that Uso, Jay's not able to beat Roman, but the Hell in a Cell is a bit of an equalizer. There's weapons, there's all these different options that can happen. So, hey, could happen.
Definitely going with Roman in that one, but I think that's going to be a real fun story. So, because it's been really fun so far. So, we'll see what they bring us in that match. I hope it's fun. I hope that's a really good one.
It's great. I want to see a lot of heavy storytelling again, but I also want to see some real punishment doled out from Roman.
Yeah. I want to see Roman get crazy. Let's get crazy, Roman. Let's get wild. I like it. The fucking chief, man. The high chief. Let's go. Finally like Roman for once. We hated him for 6 years. It's crazy.
We've got a new Twitch follower.
Twitch.
Hell yeah. Take my pants off.
Twitch.tv/Joe Cronin JCS. Trash Goblin. Thank you for subbing. Or for following me, not subbing. Hopefully you do sub, though. Could use the money. Maybe he's a Diablo 3 fan, obviously. Shout out to him, man. Here's a couple other ones. Leo Souza, thanks for becoming a subscriber. Anybody who wants to become a member down below, now's the time to do it. Hit us with that membership. Drop a donation. This is your last chance tonight on Outta Nowhere. We had a long night tonight. I've been sitting here for about 6 hours. Jake's been here. Jesus. We got to get out of here in a minute, but man, we love you, man. Hope you sub, hope you like, hope you share, hope you check out me and Jake and Joe podcast on Patreon and more. Me and my wife's podcast on Patreon and so much more. Jake, anything else from you from the news wise or things that we wanted to mention?
No, that's it. That is everything here. I mean, as far as other matches, maybe we'll see something to do with Dominic Mysterio, Rollins, and Murphy in the triple threat. Or just Dominic and Seth to finally end that feud. Hopefully. We'll see what happens tomorrow night on SmackDown. And then we could have Kevin Owens and Aleister Black finally finish their long-going clash. So we'll see what happens. I mean, we could see those two matches added, and I'd be into it so long as it's ending the feuds,
Absolutely. Like, these guys are I'm just done with it now. I mean, it was pretty good for a little while, and just, please stop. We get it. It was great. Stop it.
Yeah, the Seth Mysterio line is completely, taken its course. And once we got into the, removing eyes and paternity tests and all this, constant rematches, it really, jumped the shark.
Yeah. We heard enough of it. It was great, but stop. So hopefully it's done with, and we can move on, man. Listen, guys, thank you for listening to Outta Nowhere. Thanks to everybody who donated tonight. Tomorrow night is Monetize This. You better be there. Fucking goddamn king of the wheel, Bry Guy. And we got a lot of shit. There's going to be a lot of shit talk tomorrow night. I drank like a motherfucker last week. I think it was last week when I drank. It was fucking horrific. So I hope you guys check it out. We're going to get fucking nuts. Eric Nandubu, thanks for subbing to the channel, man. Poor Erica Cerveza. What's up, brother? Hit me up on Twitter at JCS Commentary. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's, that's right. JCS Commentary. Get Jake up at Countdown Ended. What was that, Jake?
I said, you are right. I know you've had enough Twitter accounts.
Yeah, I got so many. It's hard to... Well, they're all good. They're all gone now, but over the years, had to remember so many. Thanks, chat. Hit that like button if you can. GARGUTS, what's up, brother? Shout out to AJ Adams. We never got him on, but I love you, AJ.
I want to fuck.
All right, Leah, I'm coming.
I'm coming for you.
All right, Leah.
I'm coming for you. I want to fuck.
I was drunk out of my mind, Amanda. Good night, everybody. Come find me on Twitter. And I'll see you guys Sunday night for Hell in a Cell. Yo, please check out the Patreon. We had a couple signups tonight. Thank you for signing up on Patreon. It's easy. I really would love to keep doing these shows every week, so bring it on Patreon and become the 331st patron right now. Good night. Thanks to everybody that joined us for the debate earlier, too, by the way. That was cool. Oh, yeah, we're going to get to UFC Saturday, by the way. Yeah, we'll see what happens on UFC Saturday night. We'll see what happens. I might be on for that, baby. Man, UFC has been crushing it. Fucking Khabib, Saturday night. We're going to be talking about it, trust me. You're right about that, man. Saturday. Isn't it at 5 p.m. or something? I don't know.
Yeah, time in the afternoon, I believe.
Wow, what? Yeah, dude. Saturday. It's UFC day. You're damn right.
I love the dick. I love the dick.
Jeez. Why do you think fraternities have you screw sheep and all this and, give guys blowjobs? That's why I never joined them. Because they want to compromise.